What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. I apologise if the audio is not good, and I also apologise for not being on my channel for almost the past year. Well, it's probably been about properly uploading like I was before, like once a week or twice a week. That's been a long time. I kept saying I was going to do it, but I just really stressed. So this year I'm going to try and upload as often as possible. So to start off, I should have uploaded this video about 2 months ago, but let's get into the video. So if you guys have been waiting for this video for a long time, if you used to watch, then thank you very much for watching again. And if you guys are new to this channel, my name's Mikey Howes, or Michael Howes, but my nickname is Mikey. So my name's Mikey Howes. I am the creator of Fishing for Mikey TV, and basically this is a fishing channel, mainly fishing. There's a few other vlogs. I have another channel which will be linked in the description below, which is my vlogging channel and like other stuff. But anyway, it's mainly fishing. Bass fishing and trout fishing and LRF fishing are my mains, but I also am a carp fisherman and some others, but I only use my bass gear for almost all of it, so, and trout gear. So basically we'll get into the video of my 2018 fishing rod and reel arsenal. Let's roll the intro. Okay guys, so hope you enjoyed the intro. So basically we'll start off from just my favourite rod really, and I'll explain to you about what it is, and you'll probably notice they're all dusty because I haven't been fishing in ages. I've literally been off everything, but I will take from some of my favourite rod, and then change. There's not many changes from last year, but there's a few. So okay, so my first rod is this one. This is my favourite rod for bait casting. This is a Majorcraft Corza. This is for the bass series, not the catfish series. It's a 1/4 to 3/4 ounce lure casting weight and 10 to 16 pound line. On the moment I think I have something like 20 pound. No, it's not 20 pound. I think this is 15 pound fluorocarbon, and the reel that I pair with this rod, by the way, I have snapped this in half twice and then fixed it twice. First time I fell off my bicycle and snapped the handle in half, and yeah, after I bought it to fix another rod which I snapped in half when I was fishing, when I set the hook. Anyway, I have it paired on a Belzon 100 HL. I reel left-handed, so that's why it's a HL. This is a really good reel. It's one of my favourites. The reel and the rod averages around 130 pounds, or like $140 or something like that, and the reel averages around $200, around that sort of price, or about 180 pounds I think, or something like that. In yen, the rod is about 16,000 yen, and the reel is about 20,000 yen. It is a bit more, but that's about how much I paid for it. I bought most of them on sale as well, so they're a lot cheaper. But anyway, that's the first rod, and mainly I use this rod for worm, crankbait, and I also sometimes I will use it for spinners and also jerkbait. It's one of my favourite rods for jerkbaits. It's not really strong, but it's good. So the next rod that I used, so this is not the one I use the most, but it's close to it. This is the what's this one again? This is the Daiwa Bass X. Now I wanted this rod for years, and then my brother bought me it for Christmas, and I have barely used it because it's quite heavy. But it's such a nice rod for casting. It's quite a strong rod. I use this for this is my jigging rod. My actual jigging rod I ended up snapping in half when I was boat fishing, so I have to buy a new jigging rod. That was my jerkbait jig and frog rod. I snapped it right clean, end off clean, like about here. I just snapped. I thought it was a big fish, and went like that, and it was a big fish, and it just snapped and sliced the line up. But anyway, this is the Bass X 712 HB heavy. This is 7.17 inch. 7 foot 1 inch rod. So it goes in. Casting weight is 10 to 28 grams. and the line is 10 to 20 pounds. At the moment I have something like 30-pound braid on there. This is my favourite reel company for bait casters. This is the Valtom, Prox Valtom. At the moment the reels need a bit of cleaning because I have not used them in years. This is a Prox Valtom, which one is this now? BCS1LD. This is a sea fishing reel, but it comes at a 7.3 gear ratio. That's why I like it. The Blazon I think is a 6 to 2.2 ratio gear ratio reel. This is big hand, quite a nice handle. This is my flipping reel. I love flipping with this thing, and also jerk baits. I like using this reel and this rod. So that's number 2. So next one. So the next one is one of my oldest rods. This one and the next one are my first 2 casting rods. I've always kept them. Every time I break them, I fix them, no matter how short they get. That one slightly shorter is probably lost about this much off the end because I snapped the end off. So this one is my worm rod. This is like my light. It's not my ultra light, but this is not my finesse rod, but it's like my light rod. So this is a 6 to 14 pound line and 5 to 21 gram casting. So basically, this is a ATEC Crazy Bass C62M, designed by ATEC, as it says. This, and paired with this, I have the Prox BCF1LD. Now this is their bass version of the last reel I just showed you. This is a really nice reel. I advise getting it. I didn't say about how much the last rod was because I don't exactly know, but the reel only goes for around 30 bucks, something like that, what, 25 pounds or something like that. It costs about 5,000 yen. Around that sort of price, maybe a bit more, maybe a bit less. This is a Japanese company, Prox, and they're very cheap, but they are pretty good quality, to be honest, considering how cheap they are. They're not Abu Garcia, they're not Daiwa, but for me personally, I love their reels. Their bearings are pretty good, but anyway, let's get on to the next one. And now my camera's flashing at 5 minutes. Apparently I can't do longer than 5-minute videos. Maybe my card's full. Anyway, next we will go, before I go to finesse, the next one I will go for is this one. Now this is a new one. This is my cranking rod at the moment. This is just a, what is it, it's not, Promarine, which is just a cheap company. Bite Sonar Bass. 6.3, 6 foot 3 inches, medium action rod, and the lure is 1/4 to 3/4, weight same as that other one, and line 10 to 20 pounds. So this is about the same as my first rod, which is also I use for cranking. It's a strange rod. It's not very nice, but I needed a rod, so I just bought this rod because it was cheap. So paired with that, I have a reel I've wanted one of the reels I wanted my whole life. This Abu Garcia. This is the Revo STX with 11 bearings. This gear ratio is 7.1 gear ratio. This is, I also have on here 12-pound fluorocarbon. This reel I've not really had much time to use because I haven't really been fishing, but when I wanted a rod I didn't have any, so I went and bought one, and this is what I bought. So now when I travel I tend to take this rod with me because it doesn't matter if it snaps, because last time I took a good rod with me I ended up snapping the end off of it and I was kind of pissed off. So I'm going to just use this one. And the same reel, it's a nice reel. That rod, the rod itself is some like 10-15 pounds, so like 20 bucks, something like that. And the reel obviously is Abu Garcia, so I'm not exactly sure, probably about 100 bucks or something like that, somewhere around there. I paid quite a bit cheaper for it. I bought it second hand and it only cost me like 15 quid. So what's that, 20 bucks, something like that. But anyway, that's almost all of my casting reels and rods. So the last one is this, which is my finesse rod. This is a Trickster, the Bait Finesse Basic Light. I don't know what company it's made for. I think it's made by a company called Trickster. I can't remember what. It's made by Q1, which it stands for Qualified Ultimate Outdoor Navigator. That's who it's made by. It's a nice rod. I've caught a few fish on it when I first got it. I haven't used it much other than that though. And on there I have the Prox Valtom BF1. This is their bait finesse reel. This is an 8.1 gear ratio, 8.1 to 1 gear ratio. I have on here some 10 pound, I think it's 10 or 12 pound Daiwa, that one, Daiwa Emeraldos sea fishing braid, because that's what I use on all of my reels. I like to use Daiwa, is one of my favourite companies, so, and Valtom is Prox is my favourite company, so together I pair them both together and then get the perfect lines. So basically this rod goes for around 200 bucks, can be a bit less, can be a bit more, and the reel again goes for about 50 to 70 bucks, somewhere in between there. So what's that, 30, 40 pounds, cost me about 8,000 yen. So that's my bait casting done. So apologise for the video being long. I will speed up and talk a bit happier and fun. So anyway, that's the bait castings done. Now we're on to the spinning. So I only have like two to three spinning reels, because I need to buy some new ones because they're broken. I'm going to sell the old ones and buy new ones. Even though they're broken, I can still sell them for decent money because they're still pretty good condition, just something inside isn't working properly. So we'll start off from my favourite, as I've just got the lure caught and everything. So this is my handmade rod. This is my favourite LRF rod. This is such a good rod. It's small, light. I made all the eyes odd, so small, big, small, big, small, small, just because I was being stupid and I thought it would be funny. And actually it's one of my favourite rods. It has a leather handle, tape, and then this foam bit off another rod, which seems to be moving at the moment, which never used to move, so it's obviously come unstuck. And on that I have Emeraldos line. Actually no, I have now Gekabiji line. Or do I have Emeraldos? I have Emeraldos line. It's probably about £10 again, 10 to 15 pounds, something like that. On a Daiwa Gekabiji reel. This is my favourite reel of all time. There's no reel better than this. This is the 2400H version. H means high gear. They have a 2400 normal one, but this is 2400H gear. They have double handle as well, but this is only a single handle. This is a personal customization. This is also Prox handle off one of my old bait casters. So this is the aerator. It's also mag sealed. This reel comes in about 120, 130 pounds, and it is an amazing reel for both. I bought this reel for trout fishing, but then I ended up using it for sea fishing, and now it's one of my favourite LRF reels of all time. So if you want a good reel, there will be loads of links in the description below for all the reels that you can buy online, especially this one. And so yeah, so that's this rod done. So next I'll go on to my trout series. So number one on trout is this Major Craft Troutino. Now this is a super thin rod, bendy, perfect for trout fishing, area trout fishing, not river trout fishing. I have a river rod as well. So this rod is super light. It's something like 3 grams casting. I think I covered over where it says, but because it used to say, I think, down on the bottom. Anyway, there it is. 1 to 3 pound line, 6 foot rod, and 0.8 to 3 gram lure. This is super light. This is like ultra finesse. But that rod is so nice when you catch a big fish, because it bends and you just got to fight the fish and be really, you got to think about it and not snap the rod, and that's just so fun. So the next one on that list is this Daiwa Phantom S. This is quite an old rod, trout special, 1 to 7 gram lure and okay, so that's the Phantom S anyway. That's basically all the rod is. I don't know how much it goes for because they don't sell that version anymore. The new version is something like £150. As I said, this one's like £200, something like that, because it's a special. It's super light. It comes 5-piece and 2-piece. This one's a 2-piece rod, and it also comes 1-piece, I think. Anyway, next is another Phantom S. This is the slightly newer series, I believe. This is a grey one. Anyway, this is a lot thicker, a lot heavier. Quite bendy, quite long. This is 4 to 14 gram lure and 4 to 8 pound line. This is more river fishing style, which is what I use this one for, river fishing. And the next, I have 2 left. So my last trout rod is this Bass and Trout rod. This is a Major Craft First Cast, which was one of my favourite rods until I snapped one in half, which was my one I said about earlier, my bass bait casting rod. I had the 2, one casting and spinning. Anyway, this is a 6 foot 3 inch rod, 1.7 to 7 gram lure and 4 to 8 pound line. This is like an in-between bass rod and trout rod. It's not light, it's like a light rod, it's not ultra light, but it's not heavy. It's black bass and trout rod is what it says. On this rod I have some cheap reel, which is actually quite good quality. It's all steel, quite heavy. It's a metal anchor. I think it's a sea fishing reel anyway, but it's a 3000 reel. This is what I use on this at the moment because I use it for sea fishing and stuff, so it's just easier to keep that reel on there. And last but not least is my proper LRF rod. Now, this rod I snapped in half when a crab bit the end of it and snapped it in half. Not bit it, clamped the end of it and cut it because there was a big crab and I couldn't get rid of it. It was on my line and it like went like that as I was trying to get it down. So this line is 1 to 5 pound line and 0.5 to 8 gram lure. This is the Major Craft Cross Stage Aging Game rod. Pretty simple, super light tip. As you might notice, the eye is quite big because I had to replace it because the other one snapped and it wouldn't fit on, and then it just all broke. But anyway, that's this rod. This rod goes for around, again, 150 pounds. Anyway, that's the end of this video, basically. There's a few more rods behind me, as you might see. That's my handmade rod again, a red one. But anyway, that's the end of this video for the time being. Stay tuned for some more videos. I should be uploading, and hope you liked the video. If you did, subscribe, like, and if you want to comment, please comment. And in the description below there will be my other channel and some of these rods and reels, that if I can find them all. And yeah, that's the end of the video. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you guys in the next video. It's time to roll the outro.